Hey, what's going on today, guys? It's Jerry with Biohacking Truth, where we lead you on a journey of self-discovery and inspired action so that you can live an optimized life with maximum fulfillment, pain-free fitness, and look great naked. All right, so today in this video, we're going to talk about manifesting, how you can hack your mind to accomplish anything and really pursue your dreams and get a hold of them. Now, many of you maybe have seen the movie The Secret, or might be familiar with The Secret, and where it talks about manifesting. And that movie's gotten a lot of flack because, admittedly, it portrays manifesting as like this magical thing where it's almost like if you just put this vision out into the world, you're just going to cast a spell with the universe and it's just going to give it to you. All you got to do is want it and get out of the way. And I encourage you when it comes to this concept not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So that might be a glorified rendition of what truly happens with manifesting our dreams and our successes and achieving our goals. But if you really boil it down and you quantify it, it's not too far off from the truth. So we're going to kind of explain how manifesting works. And whether you know it or not, we're always manifesting. So basically every result in our life is something we've manifested. And we're going to explain that real quick on how that works with your brain servo mechanism. So basically, if you think about when it comes to achieving a goal or how any outcome actually happens, first step is, really realizing that your thoughts are the seeds of result. So as I come up with a thought or a thought comes up in me, generally emotions arise, and emotions are like water. So a thought comes up, if we just dismiss it, give it no emotion, really there's nothing that can grow out of that thought, right? But as it comes back and we add emotions or water to it, we begin to sprout an idea, or we begin to sprout a fear, whatever. But basically, we plant the seed of thought, we add some emotion to it, we've just nurtured that thought, and something begins to sprout. And consequently, what we neglect dies. So if we've got an unwanted thought that pops up and that's all we're ruminating on and that's all we're thinking about, then we also have, goals that would be beneficial to our overall level of fulfillment. And if we're constantly in front of mind with what we're scared of, then what we actually want to achieve to fulfill us gets put in the back burner. It gets neglected and ends up dying. And you've heard about the field of broken dreams. This is what we're talking about here. Okay. So what am I watering? What am I watering? So what is your pattern of thought? What is your pattern of success? When you think of something that you want to do, what kind of thoughts and emotions do you tie into it? When you think of something you want to avoid, what kind of thoughts and emotions are you tying into it? All right, so the vision is planted. We just have a mission, all right? We just planted a mission, right? It's like, I'm going to fix this back pain, or I'm going to lose this 25 pounds, or I'm going to get in touch with my emotional state so that I can really control my thoughts and my emotions and not have them control me. So that would be an example of a vision that's planted. So once we plant that vision, all right, now we've got something going, all right? We planted a seed in the brain, and then once you do that, your brain servo mechanism gets to work. So you can learn more about the brain servo mechanism and how this works in Maxwell Maltz's work, psychocybernetics, the new psychocybernetics, and theater of the mind are three very good ones that really go into this topic real in depth. But in that book, they talk about the brain servo mechanism, and basically the main premise behind it is what we focus on becomes the goal. I'll say that again. What we focus on becomes the goal. All right. Now that might be something we don't consider a lot, but if you think about it, if you're focusing on something that's negative and you're spending a lot of time and emotional energy on it, you're telling your brain servo mechanism that that's your goal. And so basically, once we've implanted that idea, we planted that seed, the goal, the vision, your brain starts to get to work, but it can only work with building with the materials that we give it. So if you look here, we've got some Legos that represent thoughts, emotions, beliefs, identities. These are all things that your brain uses to work with to build the future goal, or maybe more appropriately, the future outcome. So if we can imagine, if we have a vision to maybe lose some weight or to correct our posture, to get out of back pain, what have you, and these blocks are consisted of, an identity system that is tied into being worthy of feeling good at all times, or looking good at all times, and a belief system and a thought system that remembers all the past successes, ties into the emotions of those past successes, and that future identity, then you've got some really, really good blocks to build with. And even though in this particular example, they don't represent what the goal was, right? Obviously, those blocks are different. Those are Legos against versus wood blocks, Tinker Toys. But for argument's sake here, let's just assume they're the same blocks. So you've got the good, you've got the good thoughts, you've got the good beliefs, you've got the good identity tied in. So you're going to be able to build something that matches this goal, this seed goal that was planted. Might be more appropriate to say these represent negative thoughts, like negative self-image, remembering all the times I've tried and failed, the what ifs, the what happens when, how do I's, all these questions that pop up that really get in the road of our success. Now, if that's all you're giving the brain to work with, then you're going to build something that looks, not like what you envisioned. So good example here, maybe I wanted a Lego castle instead. I got a Tinker Toy castle, and these Tinker Toys represent poor thoughts. All right, so that being said, we've got our thoughts are seeds, our emotions are water, what we nurture grows and sprouts, and what we neglect dies. And then from there, we got to plant a seed in the brain and give it the proper blocks to build something that matches the vision that we implanted in it. So what happens when we plant and water negative seeds? So rumination. We've all ruminated. Rumination is when we sit there and we get in these thought loops about undesired outcomes, things that we don't want to manifest. But really, if you think about it, if you're putting all your time and energy into what you don't want to happen, that's a surefire way to make it happen. All right, so far we've determined that our thoughts are seeds, our emotions are water, what we nurture grows, and what we neglect dies. What am I watering? And so if you think about rumination, so rumination is something that we do as humans, right? It's just part of being human. But if you think about what you're doing when you're ruminating, you're actually putting this negative thought in your mind, or a negative thought pops up and you're giving it emotion, which means you're watering the seed. And as the seed grows and sprouts, pretty soon it turns into a seedling and sprouts, and then it gets to a treeling, and then next thing you know, this thing is a big wild forest in your mind, and it really literally dominates your thoughts. And that's what rumination does. And if that's where all your focus, time, and energy is going to, your mental energy, guess what you're going to manifest? Your brain doesn't know. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's desirable and what's non-desirable. The brain actually probably knows that if you manifest this outcome, you're going to learn something from it and be stronger in the long run. But that's a different topic for a different day. That being said, okay, be very mindful of what you're creating with your thoughts and your emotions, and what you're investing your emotional energy into, and your mental energy. So maybe another way to put it would be, if I wanted to manifest an undesirable result, or a particular result that would be undesirable, let's say a separation from a loved one, or someone that's maybe been bothering you and they've just been annoying you, right? And you're just afraid to lose them, but all you think about is how they've been bothering you and annoying you. And then that's going to manifest in your projections, and what's on the inside comes out on the outside, and how you treat them. And so that will probably affect your relationship. Long story short, what you were afraid of happening, because you ruminated on it, spent so much mental, emotional energy on it, you gave the brain all the power it needed and all the building blocks it needed to manifest that result. Again, the brain doesn't know if this is a desirable and undesirable outcome for you. And the nervous system responds to perceived events in the same way, and it provides the same neural connections as it does to non-real events. So if you ruminate on a particular idea or an undesirable outcome, and you feed it a lot of emotional energy, okay, you're going to just create these neural patterns in your mind, right? And as far as your mind knows, it's already happened. And when it does happen, you get the emotional response, right? Which further ingrains this idea in your head and this vision in your head, and you end up manifesting it. And so if you have a habit of ruminating, if you have a habit of festering on past events, if you have a hard time getting over things, maybe a thinner skin, stick around, because we got some tools that I think might really benefit you. So what we've learned so far is that, as your thoughts come up, right, we have control over which ones we give life to by how much emotional energy we give to them. Are we watering our seeds? And because of that, it implants a neural response to the actual perceived event in your brain, because your nervous system doesn't know the difference. And from that, it builds this snowball effect, this stronger organism. The seed turns into a giant tree, like we've talked about before. And this is all due to your brain's servo mechanism and your nervous system response. And the good news is that you can use this information, and you can really biohack your progress and your success as far as achieving goals and manifesting your dreams. So if we were to take what we just described as far as the rumination, what you're really doing when you're ruminating is you're visualizing. You're visualizing a negative outcome and you're giving emotions to it. So what we're going to recommend is that you do the flip side. Instead of ruminating, you're going to visualize. So what you're actually doing with visualization, right, is you're intentionally combining a desired result with positive emotion, a visual, a feel, and you're going to create this emotional attachment to the dream that you want to visualize and you want to manifest. In this combining of thought and emotion, right, and identity, this creates this really strong pull, this really strong, powerful, organized path for your brain to follow to achieve the results. Because basically the way the brain works is you give it a question, a riddle, and it solves it. But it can only solve it with the tools that you give it. So everything that you've experienced, that you've learned, that you've remembered, maybe you've forgotten and stored away, all your life's experience, your identity, your beliefs, all these things are going to come up subconsciously in your brain's servo mechanism when you give it a problem to solve. Okay, when you give it a problem to solve, and then it uses the tools that you give it that are available to solve the problem. So we're going to reverse engineer that rumination. We're going to turn it into visualization. And here's how we're going to do it. Okay. First thing, you're going to pick your goal. You're going to pick your dream. Now, if it's, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, you're going to visualize yourself being 20 pounds lighter and give yourself a time frame, give yourself a date. So right now it's like the 24th of June, 2021. So in this case, I would recommend maybe visualizing the 24th of September, 2021. And you're going to visualize your new self 20 pounds lighter. Step 2, how are you going to feel when you're 20 pounds lighter? Like really put yourself there. Breathe deep. Deep in, deep out. Put yourself in that space. What kind of emotions are you feeling right now? Good. What kind of thoughts are running through your mind? Good. How is your level of fulfillment and satisfaction at this point? Good. How grateful are you to yourself, your former self, in this current moment for making the decision to make the change? All right, so now you've planted the seed, you've put the vision in your brain, you've pictured, you've visualized the future you, and you've combined it with emotions and thoughts and a different identity. Now, just capture those positive emotions and sit in that space for 5 minutes. You've just done a visualization. That's pretty easy, all right? But the actual exercise is you're going to want to do that twice a day for 5 minutes. First upon awakening and right before bed. So the first thing you think about when you wake up and the last thing you think about when you go to bed. Now, if you catch yourself ruminating on how do I do this or what happens when, it's normal. Don't judge yourself for it. Just go right back to visualizing. Okay. And once you get good at this, you'll notice when you're getting good at this, when the first thing in the morning, your positive visualization pops up. Okay. And the last thing you think about before you go to bed, your positive visualization comes up before you even go into your visualization practice. When that happens, you know you're on the right road. What's going to happen, what's likely to happen is your former ruminations are going to pop up and they're going to try to take the stage. That's because you've trained them and you've trained your brain that that's what we do. But that's okay because you can retrain them yourself and your brain. So when those ruminations pop up, you're just going to swap them out for a positive visualization. You're literally going to pull that weed out by the root and you're going to plant a new seed right then and there. And you're going to throw some water on it with some emotions and thoughts and identity. And that's really as simple as it is, guys, to get into visualization. All right. Start the habit, feel it, feel the outcome, feel the reality, how real it feels, how your emotions change, how your sense of being, your sense of wellness literally flips the second you can get that brain, the thought, the emotion, and the visualization and identity complex all together working towards the same goal. It will be a tangible and palpable difference. You will feel it. I thank you for sticking around to the end, you guys. You literally use this on any goal that you have. It doesn't have to be a giant life goal. It doesn't have to be a huge, undertaking, giant transformation. It can literally be something as simple as getting a work deadline done. I know that's not always simple, but you know what I mean. Okay. But you literally can use it for anything. Projects around the house, things that you've been meaning to do, learning how to play guitar, whatever. This system really works for just about everything. And quite honestly, this is something that it's a biohack that's super effective. It's super simple. It's just something people don't do. I mean, it's just one of those things. People look at it as, I don't know, maybe a little bit of woo woo or fairy or something like that, but it really is. It's neuroscience. But if these types of topics and, the way we approach things in an integrated fashion where we're all about delivering the truth in your longevity, health, and wellness, we don't subscribe to the typical model of rehabilitation and health. That's because it's designed to keep you sick, keep you coming back, keep you a needy, somewhat satisfied customer. And we're about root cause. We're about fixing the problem where it's at. So if these are types of concepts interest you, we've got something for you. Head on over to biohackingtruth.com/guide. biohackingtruth.com/guide. And you can get a free copy of our Body Mind Biohacking Guide. And in this guide, you're going to find our 5 pillars of holistic health, including simple and easy to apply exercises that will help you with your self-discovery and mental emotional management, as well as your physical body and your just attunement to yourself. We're a system of systems. We're an integrated being. We're integrated with one another. We're integrated with nature. We're integrated with the universe. And to fix things on an allopathic level, switch this for that, it just doesn't work. And we want to share that with you. So if rumination, negative outcomes, undesired results, unaccomplished goals, if these are some things that you've dealt with in the past, I'm just here to tell you, you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to live with it one day longer. There are solutions. There are laser focused strategies to overcome these. And that's what we do for people. So head on over to biohackingtruth.com/guide, pick up your free guide today. And if you want to hear more or you want to talk to me directly and see if there's anything about your particular situation that we can help you with, go ahead and book a call with me at any time. Go to biohackingtruth.com, or you can email me direct, jerry@biohackingtruth.com. So I appreciate your time today, guys. Please like and subscribe if you found this valuable. And if you know anyone that might value from this content, please share this with them as well. And as always, much love, live well, take care, peace.